Are we testing? Oh,
We're live, bro.
This is
You're
live.
live, brother.
Welcome back to Prime Cut Slices. This week I posed the question, should you watch the 2026 Netflix movie starring Matt Damon, Affleck, entitled The Rip? Joe, what's your take on this?
You want me to answer the question?
Should you watch this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You absolutely should watch this. If you have Netflix already.
If you have Netflix, like, don't buy Netflix just for this.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far. But if you have Netflix, this is a great 2 hours of your time.
My biggest complaint here
Okay.
is that they didn't do this movie with Boston accents.
Yeah, I think they're trying to get away from that.
Why? It's not broke. Don't fix it.
Well, there's a lot of, I feel like we're getting a lot of both of them in this movie, and maybe they were like, let's just like dial it down on the Boston. They're already getting both of us. You know what I'm saying?
It would have been like you wouldn't be able to take them serious.
Yeah, like maybe it's too much of an SNL sketch.
Hey, I don't know what Boston people say.
It's the
Hi, everyone, get the gun, pop the car.
They don't use Oz in Boston.
Yeah,
it's like an AH.
Should we talk about this plot really quick?
So,
well, first of all, Greg, what did you think about this movie? It's an action. It's a police action movie.
I like it. It's an original story. I think I texted you in the middle of watching this, and heads up, we're not going to spoil the ending on this podcast episode. We're going to talk about it, and we might spoil like some of the midpoint plots a little bit, but we will not spoil the ending because the ending's got a twist on a twist on a twist, which a twist is what I always like in a movie.
Greg loves a good twist.
Yeah. But I did like this movie. It was so strange because the first half of the movie almost felt like a thriller, almost felt like that movie The Strangers.
Oh,
interesting, right? That you took that from it. Okay, I can see that.
Because and here's the other thing. Matt Damon and Ben Affleck were recently on Joe Rogan. Did you catch this episode? It's brand new.
I did not.
So I listened to this, and I used to listen to Joe Rogan forever ago. I really don't listen to him that much anymore. It's 100% based on the guests. So if it's a good guest, I'm more interested. I checked it out, and they talk about how in the movie they have to say the plot multiple times, and they say it multiple times throughout this movie. He's going to steal the rip. He's going to steal the rip. How much
people
is the
are
rip?
like second screening?
Well, yeah, exactly. Because Netflix has become one of those things where you put a movie on, you put a TV show on in the background while you do other things.
Yeah. So, you know what? I've heard Matt Damon talk about this before. I think he was on Hot Ones a couple years ago. And one of the things he was asked about, I believe it was in reference to the movie Rounders, which is a great movie.
Love that movie.
Yeah. That was like a mid-budget 90s adult R-rated drama thriller kind of. And like crime movie, but it's like an adult, it's like an R-rated movie, right? Mid-budget, not super expensive, and performed well. John Malkovich is in that. Edward Norton is in that. But what he basically described was those movies don't get made anymore because what you would get for that movie is it would maybe make a little bit of its money back in the theaters, but what really drove its success rate was the DVD sale.
Yes.
You would sell that. It would go to cable. It would be shown a bunch in syndication. People would buy it on DVD. And so then you could say, we could make 15 of these like B-level adult movies a year. And now you don't see that anymore. And what you see in theaters now is like Minecraft or an Avengers movie.
It's going to be a superhero movie.
Yes. It's a huge, big budget tentpole movie that we're going to make, $650 million, or it's going to go right to streaming. And what I think that Affleck and Damon are trying to do, which I really applaud them for, and I'm glad they're doing it, is they're taking movies that they grew up on and that they were starring in the 90s, these like adult movies. They're not Oscar winners. They're not the greatest performances, but they're like an entertainment piece for 2 hours. It's R-rated. It's an adult movie. You would see this in the theaters. Now it's going to be on a streamer. And that's kind of what they're doing. And I think that's kind of what this is. This is like an elevated B movie Like, this movie could have easily had, Scott Adkins is in this movie in a secondary role. He's like a legendary streaming action guy, like martial artist. He has probably 50 movies in the last 10 years, all of which have great fight scenes in them. You could have put him in the lead role of this movie with a bunch of other no names, and it would have been like a perfectly serviceable, like, yeah, it's pretty good, whatever, action movie. I feel like this is just like a more polished version of what you would get there, which is good. And that's why I say this is like a solid B plus. And I think Damon and Affleck know that this is a B plus. They have a really good director who also wrote this. I want to talk about Joe Carnahan, who I really, really like. They have a cast. They probably got a bunch of these people in this movie because it's like, hey, Damon and Affleck are going to be in this. It's a very straightforward, like, kind of heist. Are they dirty cops? Are they not dirty cops? Which I think is really a kind of a sweet spot for Matt Damon. For me, I think Matt Damon is the best when he's kind of, you're not sure if he's good or not.
You mean like in The Town?
He's not in the town.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking about Ben Affleck.
I'm
My
talking
bad.
like Departed,
Yes.
uh, Interstellar.
Oh, right.
Like,
He starts
he's
off good,
kind
and
of
then is he
skeevy,
good
talented
or is he
Mr.
bad?
Ripley. Like, talented Mr. Ripley. He's the main character, but he's not a good guy, really. And I think
Right.
that he has like such like a boyish charm that he can subvert that, which he does through a lot of this movie. And there's a couple scenes in particular. He has a scene with Steven Yeun when they're outside. It's just him. They're out on like the driveway. Do you remember this part that I'm talking about, Greg?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And you're like, I don't know
Oh,
what
there's
this
a
is.
really cool part in
Yeah.
that. So they're having this intense dialogue, and Damon's character is a lieutenant. They call him LT. And they are standing outside talking, and Matt Damon's basically talking to Steven and questioning if he's a snitch. And then he tells him, hey, man, why don't you go back into the house? He's like, go help him count the money. So he sends him back, and he turns around, he's walking away slowly, and you hear the safety click off on the gun.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
like, hey, that was like such
There's
a
a couple
subtle
things like that.
It was so subtle that, like, when I heard it, like, and if you don't pay attention, you would have missed that. But like, you hear it, and it's just nothing else is said about it. But if you catch it, you're like, oh, that was cool. You just hear
Yeah.
the click of the gun safety coming off.
Yeah, and there's, Affleck is they're basically like on this the framework of this movie is these are two Miami-Dade narcotics officers on like a narcotics team that has Steven Yeun, um, Tiana Taylor, another actress who I don't know, who was the dog handler. I'm not sure who that is. Kyle Chandler plays their friend who's a former Miami police officer who's now with the DEA. And they get a tip for a large amount of money, a Crime Stopper tip for like a large amount of drugs and money that they can find in this house. And they go to see if they can search this house and obtain this, seize it for the police department. And things kind of like spiral out of control from there. I think that they really did a good job of having the Affleck Damon like repartee go really well. Like, that's the reason that
sure.
you want to watch this. I want to
Yes.
watch this because I like Joe Carnahan. It's a good action movie, but those two guys like kind of sparring and their relationship on screen, because it's such like a notable celebrity friendship for 40 years or whatever it is now. You want to see that, and I think it delivers there. And I thought Affleck really was very good, and I think he's not as good as Damon personally most of the time. I think
Right.
Damon's better. But in
Agreed.
this movie, Affleck was really strong.
Yeah, and they've just got great chemistry together in this movie, and so it feels very natural. The other thing I noticed is that the majority of this movie takes place in this house where they go do this rip, so that brings the budget down for the movie itself.
For sure.
And so, there's like ways they cut corners to help mitigate some of the costs there. But one of the other things that Damon was talking about was that in these movies, we've got the attention span of TikTok for people watching this. And so right out the rip, you got to have some kind of action to keep people compelled and interested in watching this.
Mm-hmm.
So right out the rip, you get a shootout with a cop and someone gets killed. Like first minute of the movie.
Yeah, I saw him interviewed where he was like, used to have like, the setup of the story, maybe like an action piece, The second act has like another action piece, and then the
Yes.
finale has like a big action piece, and it all builds to the finale. He's like,
Yes.
now with the rate of how people are, putting something on in the background or they're watching, but they're not really paying attention, they try to grab the audience's attention, like right off the bat. And
So
so
you need a
that's what,
big action piece in the beginning, and it's
yeah,
scene act 1.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Right away, you're like, oh, I'm like paying attention more than that. Um,
Let's talk about this, director. Why do you like him, Joe?
oh, my guy, Joe Carnahan, one of my favorites. This
What do you
guy,
like from him?
Greg, Mark, we have not done a Joe Carnahan movie. This guy's entire resume to me is prime cut. His first movie is a movie called Narc with Ray Liotta and Jason Patrick. It's an extremely intense undercover cop movie set in Detroit. It's very low budget. It's his first full length feature. Awesome movie. I love it. We could absolutely do that. He's done Smokin' Aces. He's done The A-Team, both of which I really like, are really fun. Um,
The Gray.
The Gray is by far his best work. It is really dark. I don't know. Have you seen The Gray, Greg?
I have not.
Mark, have you
With
seen it?
Mr. Liam Neeson.
Dude, it's so good. It would be one of those movies.
He fights wolves.
Yeah, it's like he plays like a
Wait, I have seen this. Yes.
okay.
I've
It's
seen it.
really
Yes.
intense.
I
That
know
to
him
me is
most
like
from
his pinnacle.
I know him most from Smokin' Aces, and he uses Ben Affleck in Smokin' Aces, and Ben Affleck gets killed, like, he's almost non-existent. It's kinda
Yeah.
like, what was that movie with, Harrison Ford, I think, and is it Steven Seagal? And Steven Seagal gets killed, like, right away?
Kurt Russell and
Oh, it's
Steven
Kurt
Seagal.
Russell.
Executive
Yes.
decision, yeah.
Executive decision. Yes, he gets
Yeah.
killed, like, within the first, like, few minutes.
I think
It's like
they hated him on set and they wrote his character out.
and so they kill
That's
him off.
insane.
The Smokin' Aces Affleck is almost like he's messing with the audience where he's like, you think that Ben Affleck's going to be the star and he dies very quickly, which is
That
great.
movie, incredible.
We could do any of those. Dude.
We could
I
do
like
Smoking Aces.
I think we could 100% do Smoking Aces. That's prime cut. We would
The
definitely
A-Team I really like, guys. Smoking
with
Aces,
Rampage
the A-Team.
Jackson.
Yeah.
Mm,
If you
it
ever
might have
watched
been a
the
little
A-Team
before
as a
my. It might
kid,
have been a little before my time.
dude, the
I never watched
A-Team
it.
movie, Rampage I think is the weakest link, but the other three guys, Bradley Cooper, Sharlto Copley, and Liam Neeson, they are like perfectly cast. And I grew up watching the A-Team rerun, so I have a soft spot for it. Both Smoking Aces and the A-Team are really fun.
Okay, but this director also did Bad Boys 2, Bad Boys for Life.
Did he?
Yeah, that's what it said.
Did he write it?
Bad Boys for Life 2020.
He did not direct them.
He's got some kind of tie to
He
it.
might have a writing credit on it, which I wouldn't be
Okay.
surprised.
There we go.
The screenplay and story by.
The thing that's interesting about him is he can kind of do different things in this genre. He's like an action guy. If I look at like his best stuff, to me, the four movies that stand out are Narc, The Gray, Smoking Aces,
Dude.
and The A-Team.
He wrote Narc.
Yeah, he wrote Narc.
That's so sick.
Narc is incredible. Narc and The Gray to me are really dark. They're really intense. They're very dark. There's like a lot of contemplation on like life and death and fate and like religion and spirituality. The Gray is like, you got to take some time off after you watch that movie. I personally love it, but it's hard to watch. Smoking Aces and the A-Team are like fun, kind of like zany action movies. This movie to me cuts those two like pillars in half and kind of splits the baby, because there's parts of the rip that are really intense, but it's never like heavy where you're like, oh man, this is like, I really have to think about this movie afterwards. Like it's staying with me. This is like a good cop movie with excellent action. It's like a B-level, fun adult R-rated movie with some curse words and automatic weapons. It's pretty good.
Kind of seeing a trend here. I mean, and it might speak a lot to the actors that he hires, but it seems like most of his movies are like almost ensemble casts,
Yeah, I think so. I think that's
which
fair.
is, it works for his movies because I feel like he writes them very well. The pacing is kind of, even in Smoking Aces, the pacing is fucking insane for a movie that came out in what, 2006? That movie was pre-TikTok.
Yeah, that's 20 years. You're right, Greg or Mark. That movie's 20 years old. And if it came out this year, you'd be like, oh, this fits right in with like the modern movies. 100%. there's a foot pursuit chase, Greg, where Steven Yeun and Matt Damon are like at night are like chasing those guys through the neighborhood that I think
Yeah.
Carnahan shoots really well.
Yeah, that part's cool. And I always love whenever they have, like, some fear or danger with the cartel, which is
Oh yeah,
basically what
cartel
this
stuff's
movie has.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Classic.
The part that I was talking about earlier that this movie feels like, a little bit like The Strangers is because at one point they're in the house counting this money, and they think that there's, like, 15,000, they think that there's, like, they've got all these different amounts in there, and it ends up being, like, 20,000,000 in this house. And they have to count this money. I guess procedure is they're supposed to count it on site and take then move it. And I was like, that is so crazy because I've counted a lot of money before at work. I've counted, I don't know, like several. I think the most I've ever counted is probably like $30,000, something like that. And that is crazy. That would take so long to count
By hand, yeah.
by
And
hand
like
with
they
no
have to
machine.
fortify that garage they're in because they're like, if someone knows we're here and wants to get this money, like we have to maybe defend this place. So they have to like move that like broken down car in front of the garage door. It's very well done. It's very I would say that to me the dialogue, especially in the first half, is like spot on for like cop talk. It's really good. I liked it.
I was gonna ask Joe, does it follow pretty SOP,
Yeah.
store,
Yeah,
store
I
or
mean it
standard operating
does.
procedures?
For a lot of the stuff it does. Especially like the whole like there's an investigation, internal affairs. People don't like internal affairs. That's a whole thing. There's a one scene where like Matt Damon, you can tell he's just like a burned out guy who's been on the job for a while. He's like, man, I hate being a cop. And like that's very real. That's very real.
There's the other scene that I have to mention that I really liked a lot is when they discover how much money is in the walls, because
Hmm.
that's where they find it. Uh, Instantly, Matt Damon's character's like, I need your phone. I need everyone
Yeah.
to give me your phones, all of your phones,
Yeah.
because he's like, this amount of money will change people.
And this is another thing where you're like, at that point in the movie, you're not sure what he's doing. Is he going to steal the money? Is he trying to like get everyone on board to take the money or to take part of the money? Is he just nervous that this is a crazy procedure? Is he scared because there's too much money? Like he does a really good job of like withholding a lot of things in it. Um, I don't think
And
Affleck could play his role. Let me put it that way.
well, that's fair. And then at the end of the movie, we get a cool callback to showing different perspectives of things
Yeah.
that happened.
Yeah.
So it's in the beginning of the movie, you'll get this perspective of like, oh, he's saying these things. And then at the end of the movie, you get a callback to what he was actually doing, what you couldn't see. So it's almost like we get the missing scenes plugged in, and you're like, oh, it's wrapped up really nicely, in my
Mhm.
opinion. I thought that the ending was it could have really fizzled out. What was that other movie that Ben Affleck did on Netflix? We talked about it previously via text, Joe. He did that made for Netflix like action movie where he's like stealing money from a drug
Triple
cartel.
Frontier. I kind of like
Tri-
it.
Triple Frontier. I felt like
It loses some steam.
yes, it loses a lot of steam towards the end of it,
Mhm.
and I don't think this one does. I think that this one uh it peaks at just the right spot and then it wraps up nicely. So it makes it very fun, easy to watch. I'd watch it again.
Yeah, for sure. If you have Netflix and you're looking for something, this is a really like throwback to like a 90s mid-budget, very well done action movie that you're going to enjoy.
What would you give this movie? What would you rate it?
This is like a 3 star for
Three
me.
flat?
Oh,
Yeah, 3.
You want to go 3 point anything?
No, this is like a good 3 star. Like, dude, this is like middle of the batting order, not hitting 40 bombs a year, but not hitting 270. This is like I'm hitting 290, getting on base, couple doubles, couple triples here and there, just like a steady player. That's what this is for me. Journeyman.
interesting.
I'd
Interesting.
yeah, I'd give it probably like a 3.3, 3.4.
Okay. Yeah.
I go a little higher.
Yeah.
I liked it. It was worth
It's
watching.
good. It's good. It's very good.
Now
Is
it would be
y'all?
bad
So
if they
we're
made
not
it
recommending.
if they made a sequel. This would be bad.
They don't need a sequel. This is not a franchise
No.
style.
They could though. Another rip.
Another
Rip
rip.
two.
The next rip.
The next rip.
The next rip.
I
So
th-
we are saying if you don't have Netflix, don't pay $26 a month to watch.
Well,
this
there's a
movie.
lot of good stuff on Netflix to watch, but I would not base my purchase on this movie alone. But if you have it and
There's
you're
one
looking for
guy.
something like, if you're looking through Netflix and you see on the tiles and you're like, The Rip, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, they look like they're wearing badges and they got pistols. Should we watch this? The Prime Cut team says yes.
Bearded Matt Damon.
Bearded Matt Damon, getting ready for the Odyssey. Think he had the similar beard.
I think so.
Hey, you know, if you got Netflix,
hold on, Greg. One last thing. If you had
Yeah.
to pick one guy, one actor, likability, body of work, movies that you like, are you an Affleck guy or are you a Damon guy?
that's tough. I think I'm an Affleck guy.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a Damon guy.
Because of some of Affleck's older work. And I don't know, man, because he's also got a lot of cameos in some good movies that I like.
Sure.
Like
So you're an
he's
Affleck guy.
he's a Kevin Smith guy, and I'm a Kevin Smith guy.
Yeah.
So
The best Kevin Smith movie that they're both in is Dogma.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, I also love Ben Affleck in what was the third movie in that series? So
Chasing
it goes
Amy or Mallrats?
Chasing Amy. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like Chasing Amy a lot. Yeah, that's a good one.
He doesn't have a Bourne series though, bro.
He
He's not
doesn't.
Jason Bourne.
It's not. He
He
doesn't.
has Armageddon and Pearl Harbor.
Armageddon is one of my favorite movies of all time.
We're never going to do that.
All right, thanks for checking us out, y'all. Check out The Rip on Netflix.
Give The Rip a look.
Let us know what you think in the comments below.